Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Philip Harman, and I'm a business development manager here at Therefore. Yes, we are very proud to welcome almost 500 participants this morning. And by the way, this event has a very long tradition, but for the first time, it is purely digital. Charlene, do you remember our last Live Fusion event? You are muted, Charlene.
Sorry. Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. Yes, February 2020, of course, I can remember. And even though we miss, obviously, seeing all of you and mingle and have a chat, it's great to see that we can connect to 500 people today. So that's great news.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, to introduce this event and give you a bit more information on the agenda, I'll hand over to Kono, the mastermind behind this event.
Mastermind. Thank you, Charlene. I like to just think of myself as a good planner. In any case, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kono. I'm head of digital engagement here at Therefore. And I'm so happy to be bringing you today's event with my colleagues and our customers from around the world. Although it is a different format than what we're used to, it's really special when we can all come together like this. So to start us off today, I want to mention a few housekeeping things and then go over the agenda. So the first thing I want to mention is that all the participants on this call are muted, but we still want to hear from you during today's presentations. And so we encourage you to use the Q&A function in Zoom. If you are joining from a computer, so a desktop or laptop, the Zoom client app, it should look like what's pictured on the left. So on the bottom bar of your screen, you should see a few options, and one of them is going to be Q&A. If you're joining from a mobile phone, you will have to tap your screen to make the bottom row of the commands appear, and then you'll see your Q&A button there. We'll try to answer your questions as we can during the event, but because we have a very large amount of people on the call, we saw 500 registrations. If we don't get to your question, we'll be happy to follow up by email afterwards. So let's take a look at the agenda then. So the first thing we're going to be doing is an introduction by the Therefore team. So you'll be hearing a bit more from Charlene and from Michael. So we'll be doing that first. After that, we're going to go straight into our customer success stories. So we have two customers with us on the call today who are going to be telling us about how they use Therefore and how it has helped to make their businesses run more efficiently. After that, we have a demo of the features that are coming with Therefore 2021. This is a really exciting session because we're seeing a lot of new features and the interplay between the new features. After that, our CTO Stefan will be walking you through the Therefore technology vision, so you know what's coming in the near and long-term future of Therefore. Finally, we have some time to review Q&A questions with the audience. Overall, we should probably be done today within about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. So let's do something else now. So let us get started with a little bit of an icebreaker. And the way we wanted to do this is we wanted to use some polling. We wanted to ask you some questions and see some of your responses. And for this, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Jennifer. So Jennifer, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for that introduction. My name is Jennifer Schmidt. I'm a member of the digital engagement team with Kono. And I'm really happy to see so many people on the call and hear from you. So Kono, can you please pull up the questions?
Yes, doing it right now. So launch polling. Here we go.
So all of you should be able to see a poll on your screen right now. And the questions that we would like to ask you are, first of all, which region are you joining us from? Today's Fusion event, this one is mainly for Europe, but we're interested to see if there are other regions on the call as well. How long have you been working with, or how long have you known Therefore? Many of us probably have known Therefore for around 10 years or even more, actually. Where are you joining from your home or a beach maybe? That would be really cool. And which part of the event are you most excited for? Customer stories, the tech demo, or something else? All right, so go ahead, fill out the poll, and then we'll see the results. So go ahead and we'll give you a chance to submit, and then once we see that the submissions have stopped coming, we'll go over the responses.
Yep, let's take maybe 30 more seconds. I see people are still voting. And if you're on mobile, you may have discovered this already, but you'll probably have to scroll through the questions to be able to see all of them. All right, looks like we're getting there, but votes are still coming in, so I don't want to stop anyone from voting.
All right, and if you're having trouble pressing the send button, just make sure that you have completed all of the polling questions.
Yes, that seems to happen to some people, but if you try again, it usually works. So you can go ahead and give it a try. All right, nearly there. People are still voting. Okay, great. We're at, wow, over 90% voted.
Great.
Thank you. All right, great. So let's take a look at the results now. So I'm going to end the polling, and I'm going to share the results. Jennifer, can you walk us through?
All right, so the first question is, which region are you joining us from? Looks like 96% of us are coming from Europe, and about 2% are from the Middle East, and 1% from another region. So that's great. How long have you been working with, or have you known Therefore? 66% more than 3 years, 22% 1 to 3 years, 7% less than 1 year, and 5% are just getting started now. So that's great to see that we have a nice diversity of people with different experiences. Where are you joining from? 62% are joining from home, and 36% are joining from the workspace, and 1% either from a sunny beach or somewhere else, maybe a not so sunny beach. And then what part of the event are you most excited for? So we've got about 30% saying all of it, which is just what like me. 54% are saying the tech demo, 11% customer stories, and 1% something else. So overall, looks like we've got a lot of different answers, and I'm really excited to see what this event will bring. Thank you, Kono. Perfect.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you everyone for voting. So then in that case, thank you for your responses. It's really great to see the diversity in the responses. Of course, we see that a lot of you are Therefore experts, but it's fantastic to see that there are people who are just getting started with Therefore as well. And actually, for that reason, we're going to take a few minutes now to set some context about who we are and what we do here at Therefore. A lot of you, of course, know us very well, but for those of you who don't know us, we want to give you a brief overview and introduction to the world of Therefore. And for this, I'll now hand it back to Charlene. Charlene, go ahead.
Yes, hi again. Sorry, hi again, everyone. Yes, so as we have seen, there's a lot of you who are already Therefore champions, but it seems that a few of you are just beginners, and maybe some of you have just found the promotion of this event somewhere, and you just thought it was going to be a great party to join. And you were totally right. So let me give you a bit. Therefore. So Therefore is a solution or content service platform solution which is globally known for its high performance and stability. It's focused around 3 areas: to manage information, the strategic data of an organization as an asset. It's also all about running and optimizing business processes with the workflow and streamline the way you work. And also business analytics, and gather business analytics with all the data which is collected in Therefore with the documents and linked also to the workflow. It's used across the globe, and we have seen here this is a EMEA fusion event. So obviously a lot of you are part of Europe, but there's going to be a fusion event in APAC in US. So there are a lot of customers also in those areas, And some of you, as we have seen, are also part of Africa and LATAM. We also have LATAM customers. So you can find therefore everywhere, therefore customers, but also therefore champions. It's used by hundreds of thousands of users across the globe and is covering all company sizes, whether you're a small company or a very big multinational, therefore has a very wide range of customers covering all type of industries. You can find therefore the two infrastructure options: on-premise, so where the server is locally based, where customers have full control over their infrastructure. And you can also find therefore as therefore online, so a cloud-based solution. It's implemented in the Microsoft Azure data center to offer full flexibility and continuous release, and also make sure that you have a highly secured therefore installation. It's globally available with therefore online. We have infrastructures in the Microsoft Azure data centers across the globe. So obviously in Europe, but also in Canada, in the US, in Australia, in Asia, and in Japan, to make sure that we match the performance that you all expect, as well as the local requirements. In a few words and in a nutshell, therefore, it gives you a high productivity because it improves the way everyone works in the company. You don't use any of your valuable time to look for documents. It increases your reactivity and in turn, obviously, your customer service, your visibility on all your operations, especially with the workflows and with the business analytics that you can gather from that. And also the security of your documents. Obviously, you have all your documents centralized in one place, so you keep control over your data. It's not spread out on different supports. And finally, but last but not least, as we say, the high flexibility of therefore, because you can find information anywhere, anytime, especially with the therefore Go app. How can you do this? Therefore has different pillars in its functionalities. Obviously, you have the capture, where you can capture information and capture document, whether they are electronic or whether they are paper documents, especially now with the launch of therefore Smart Capture that you all know, that you will all probably know about or will know about in this Fusion event. The security of your information with multiple way to manage the habilitation and according to different profiles, the different single sign-on providers, for example, the way you manage your information and the way you access your information. So whether it's heavy client, light client, especially with the amazing, great, user-friendly new web access that we have since 2020. And also, obviously, the therefore Go app, which enables you to access your documents and validate workflows anywhere from your mobile phone or your tablet. You have the automation of therefore with the therefore workflow. It's extremely well known across the globe to be very easy to set up, very easy to configure, but very, very high in the feature that and functionalities that you can set up with the workflow, especially with very high integration. And in the end, the analytics, obviously, that you can set up and have in therefore with all the data that you gather in our solution. So thank you for that. And I will now hand over to Michael, who will give you a bit more information on our corporate strategy and how we intend to meet our goals. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Charlene. I'm Michael from Therefore, and I'm truly honored to welcome you today from so many countries. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time to be with us today. Please let me share my remarks with you. We are living in great times. And we are now firmly in a digital world, and we are very optimistic about this decade. So what is our contribution to you? We want to make you successful in the present and in the future. And I will share with you now how we deliver on this and where we are going. Partnership starts with listening to you. And in fact, customers are the key source of our innovation. Our team is passionate about building the right tools for the future, and it's all about what you need, and we would love to hear from you, as Conor has already said. Now, success in this digital world is no longer about technology only. We want to be the partner for you to make it really work effectively and efficiently, a partner that really delivers. So let's start with our strategy. This is our long-term plan for success, and we are working every year to refine it. On this topic, we have a simple and consistent message. Therefore is the platform for real-time business. We understand that you have a business to run, and we want to give you a reliable and scalable platform for you to grow and give you the peace of mind to help you to focus on your core business. So this is working now, as we will hear in a few moments from our customers, and I'm really looking forward to these exciting customer stories, how it delivers for their business. Now, what about tomorrow? Where are we going? How do we help you to get ahead of the game and grow opportunities for the long term? There are a few factors to consider. Let's look on our growth model here in the form of a cube. So the first factor is knowledge. Collaboration is the norm in the tech business, and we will integrate and collaborate in the cloud, for example, packaging microservices and making them available to you with a clear cost model. We can use here the expertise of our team to be a technology consolidator, packaging technology for the best way to use. And we will work very hard to be every day closer to you, both in geography, but also in expertise, for example, through the Canon network of specialists. The second factor is time. So packaged cloud applications for instant productivity, for example. This is all about best practice and speed of rollout. We can lead here with speed. The third factor is money. It's all about making it right for you at the right price. And our ambition here is very clear here. We want to be the best in return of investment. We want to lead in reliability and cost effectiveness. We do so by investing in knowledge, people, and sharing business practice. Now, all of this, we can only make work with great people who have the spirit that therefore delivers and are focused on what you get. So what do you get? For business, we deliver results. For people, we deliver trust. Thank you for being our customers. Enjoy the conference. Connor, your sound.
Sorry, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Really inspiring words, in my opinion. I also believe that our main goal at Therefore is to make you, members of the Therefore community, successful by delivering results that truly matter. And as Michael mentioned, we strive to be a trustworthy partner for our customers who rely on our solutions to actually run their business. And for that reason, we have arranged, as we promised, two of our customers to join us today to share their Therefore success story with all of us. So Jennifer, can I ask you to start us off with this next session, please?
All right, thank you very much, Kono. I am very, very pleased to introduce one of our customers, Mr. Pierre from CGI Finance, all the way in France. So Pierre, thank you very much for joining us, and we are so excited to hear your story.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Jennifer, for introducing me. So I'm Pierre Poirier from France, as you said, working in CGI Finance as a domain manager. So I'm managing three teams, three development teams, and I'm mainly concerned with everything that deals with electronic document management. So I was invited to the event to share with you my usage of Therefore with my team. So first, before going further, I'm going to tell you who we are and what we do in CGI Finance. Sorry, we were created about 70 years ago, and we are specialized in leasing. So we made leasing for different products. We stopped some, we continue with others. We now work with a bit more than 1,000 people there. So as it's written, 1,257. Might have changed a little bit, but we don't care. And we have most of our people are split all around France. The main agencies in the north of France, and we have 19 other agencies in France. Our production represents about 2.9 billion euros a year, and with something like more than 130,000 new contracts of leasing every year, and a global more than 400,000 customers alive. Our company is a member of the Groupe Société Générale, which is a well-known bank over Europe and worldwide also. So maybe some of you know us with other names, or Société Générale with other name in Europe, present in Russia, in Italy, so in different places all over Europe. So we are in CGI Finance. We are active in 4 different markets. So the most important market is a car loan, only in France, which is our biggest market. And we have a 3rd place in the overall ranking of credit institution in France. And we are the first place as an independent establishment for a loan, which means we are not related to a specific car manufacturer. We also do some boat loan in Europe, and we are the first in Europe for this activity. After, we have 2 other activity which are very more confident, we would say, which is a loan recovery for our need, and we are also doing this for some of our customers, and loan grouping. So regarding Therefore, we started looking at and using Therefore in 2015, because we were at this time in need of a tool to address a specific usage, which is called acquisition. And we wanted to, at this time, to replace our old internal tool, which was slow and really expensive and did not really cover the need we have. The activity of acquisition deals with collecting documents that we need to study a credit file. And before using Therefore, all these documents were papers and transferred from one agency to another physically, and after to a physical storage with all the risks that you can guess, like losing papers and whatever. So we choose Therefore because it was agile, it was performance stable, and mostly user-friendly. As you all the interface we had was really poor and bad on this point of view. Now, every document is gathered by our agents or directly by our customers, because our customers is not individual people, but car dealers. So they directly gather all the documents and scan them and send them directly to API we put in place around Therefore, and they are directly stored in Therefore. So when you study, when studying credit file, the agent now can search directly for files into Therefore, and then do not need to print files anymore, and spend time to going to the printer or whatever. And finally, when the loan is validated, accepted, all the files were transferred, I would say, to our old internal storage tool. But since a few weeks now, it has been replaced by Therefore. So we have Therefore for acquisition and Therefore for storage. That is for since a few weeks. We also do some electronic signage. So we have an internet tool that generate contracts that are sent to our clients through an interface. They do electronic signature, and we store everything on Therefore. So when the customer sends all his documents, the agreement and the digital signature, everything is stored after in Therefore. So when the credit file is validated, everything goes in electronic document management with Therefore. And moreover, we have the customer, after he signs his document, can still access what he signed. We set up a specific portal that allows them to sign in and access what they have signed. So this is linked to Therefore using API. If you are looking for quantities, numbers, at this time we have 800 users allowed in our company to use Therefore. And when during the end of month, which is the most active place in our business, we have like 300 simultaneous users on Therefore. Regarding documents, we have actually more than 11 million documents stored in Therefore for a little bit more than 8 teras of disk space. And this is growing every day by thousands of new documents. So now, as I'm regularly, very often in contact with a final user, we often have the opportunity to share with us, and they are really delighted to use Therefore because it's efficient, it's reactive, it's secured, and it's has been totally integrated into our IT. We have been using many APIs, and we develop on our own some specific function with API, and also the add-in in the AV clients that allow us to customize it. So it's fully integrated and really appreciated. And now, what's next? We recently extended our electronic signature to the recovery market with the same kind of access that was granted to our customers to access what they signed. And by the end of this year, we will have a second market, the boat loan, which will be also collecting documents into Therefore and storing these documents for a studying purpose. And next year, we should be addressing our last market, the recovery market, by the same thing for gathering documents. And if we are looking to Therefore product, we want to have a look to some functionalities that can be useful for us, like the e-forms, the workflows, and also the right management, which has been changed recently. That's all for me. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Pierre. Really interesting story. So we did get a question, but we will answer this afterwards. So thank you for the question. We will give this question then to Pierre to respond to. In any case, I think it's really interesting to see the scale of everything that CGI has done. Certainly, I was impressed to see, how 11 million documents, 8 terabytes. That's a big installation, and certainly, 800 users. It's huge. I think it's also really interesting to see the new ideas for future projects, and we certainly look forward to working with you, Pierre, with CGI, and with Canon to improve your business. So our next speaker is joining us from Norway. As a customer through Canon Norway, the company Heidenreich has been using Therefore for several years. And to tell their story, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Björn Mohn. So Björn, take it away.
Thank you very much, Conny, and thank you for having me on this excellent summit that you have arranged. Yes, my name is Björn Mohn, and I'm the CEO of the company Heidenreich, and I will start up this presentation for you. Okay, so Heidenreich, we were established back in 1904, and through the decades there has been a lot of acquisition and mergers, ending up by us being bought by the German wholesaler Cordis & Grefe in Bremen, which are now 100%, they own 100% of our shares as of 2017. This year we have a budgeted revenue of around 200 million euros. We have 31 outlets throughout the country, approximately 320 employees. And what do? We sell parts to civil engineering, meaning everything in pipes, drains, and everything you need in order to build infrastructure. We sell parts to heating and indoor installation, heating pumps, and all kind of plumbing equipment. And we sell bathroom and sanitary equipment to the same customers. Everything is based on selling to business. We do not have any end consumers as customers directly. A few words about our owners, German GC Gruppe, or Cordis & Grefe. They are represented in 16 countries, approximately 24,000 employees, spread around 1,400 different locations. The GC group is very concerned about keeping the local names and presence when they acquire companies. Therefore, we have a lot of brands within the group. As a curiosity, you can say that they opened this industry's first online shop back in 1996. So the company has a long history of working in a digital way. So this is my team. We were happy to arrange this January. Not this year, but last year. So we were just a couple of months before everything closed down due to COVID. I also need to say that we are very concerned about the sustainability, and we do a lot in order to think about our environment and the footprint that we are leaving. Okay, what is our challenge then? Okay, and this is a quote. And the last line says, accommodate new technologies. Okay, sounds great. But why Canon and why Therefore for us? Well, we saw that, and this is some 5-6 years ago, we saw that our company was growing, and of course the administrative workload grew accordingly. But we didn't want or could hire more people to the back office. I mean, what CEO would like to hire more people to the back office? If I am to employ people, I definitely want to employ them within sales or marketing. And we are using the group's ERP system, which also is from the 1990s. As you can see, some of you being on my age, you can recognize the AS400 picture there, working together with SAP, meaning that to change the system according to our requirements is so slow and complex that to start that process would take so long that when the solution was finally there, it would have been obsolete anyway. But we have been working with Canon and using their Uniflow software for secure print for a while, and then we had this very clever key account manager in the Norwegian Canon company, and he was very eager to convince us to say, okay, take the step, try Therefore. So we did. But digitizing, what is, you mean email? No, this is far more than email. Try asking your 16-year-old daughter to send you a mail and check her response. She will say, Dad, come on, No one uses that anymore. So this is about far more than scanning objects into PDFs. So the first project we started off was the fact that we have approximately 13,000 separate deliveries every day. And all of our customers are business customers, meaning we have no cash, no card, or anything. Everything is done by credit and printed notes. So we print a delivery note for each of these orders, and then you can imagine how it was with papers and finding those papers when there was discrepancies or anything. So what we did as the first project was to scan and OCR all the delivery notes directly into Therefore Everyday, enabling us to retrieve the actual notes when there were any discussions or questions. Quick and easy. That was a success, and that's what we've been doing for quite some years now. Other projects that we have done after this was that we have made a contract repository where we basically store all our contracts. We have also made a process for digitizing customs declaration when we import articles ourselves. And we have also made a system for receiving incoming invoices, and there we therefore is working parallel with a robot. So it's an RPA software that interchanges information. Very exciting and also very complex. We are onboarding new article numbers. Entering a new article number for us is quite a lot of information because all the master data needs to be correct, and it's time consuming. And then also we have the latest project. This is onboarding of new credit customers, which I'm going to elaborate a little bit on. The thing is, it's no longer the big beating the small, but it's all about being fast. And Norway is a small country up in the north. We are not the #1 wholesaler in Norway, so we can't beat by being the biggest. We need to be the quickest. So onboarding of new credit customers for us, which is vital, of course, in order to have a growing business. We used to have our sales representative fill in a Word template to sign up new customers. They sent it along in an email, hoping that it was received by the right person and that the process would be done according to our process descriptions. And of course, you can imagine the final result often carried a lot of the errors, and it was sent to the wrong people. Oh, it needed approval because this and those conditions were set, and a lot of misunderstandings. And we actually used more time on the phone sorting out the different questions than actually entering customers. Very time consuming and inaccurate. So how do the salespeople work today? Well, they enter the metadata straight into Therefore. The customer is digitally born in the system, and it develops and thrives from there. And then, of course, a lot of attributes which is built into Therefore, I would say, rather complex, based on a lot of segments and other ways of identifying the customer. It is sent along to the right people, and it's approved or denied or whatever, so everything goes more or less automatically. And of course, what happens is that the speed has improved dramatically. From maybe taking 2 to 3, 4, 5 days to enter a new customer is now just a question of minutes or hours. And of course, no more errors, more or less, because everything is only entered once, and you don't have that problem. Oh, was it that version of the Word document that I was supposed to send? I sent the wrong one. And of course, a lot less manual quality control, going back to me not wanting to hire more people at back office function. And mainly for the salespeople, it's efficient. Yes, we have to learn a new system, and everyone wants to learn something new as long as it doesn't mean that they have to study. But we did spend some time together with salespeople and taught them how to do it, and now they are very confident, and that's working fine. Walk in the park. Well, there has been a few bumps in the road, I must admit, in terms of delays, misunderstandings, and how we dimension the projects. It's always like that. But all in all, we have accomplished what we set out for on the various projects. And again, for us, it is about, we can't be the biggest, let's be the fastest and the best. And in the end, at the end of the day, it is about money. And yes, we have saved a lot of money by doing this. So our next steps and plans now is to enhance the system even more to handle and maintain the customer conditions. And being a wholesaler, we offer around 50,000 articles to some 10,000 customers. So we have a lot of prices and discounts and bonuses and all kinds of conditions, which today is handled by an extremely large Excel sheet, which we are working to try to get into the system so that everything is done, handled by their phone. I'd like to set out to underline a couple of topics that is, for me and us, has been very, very important. And the first is, whatever you do, do not regard this to be an IT project, meaning that if you have the IT department handling the projects, it's bound to fail. They need to be there, they need to participate, and they're a very important asset. But for us, it's been all about the business process owners that also own these projects, because they are the ones who feel the need for the efficiency improvement, where the IT people, especially, well, at least in our company, are not that interested in. And most companies have a lot of existing systems, and to start reworking those, it is such a long way to go. So integration is the key, and to use new and modern system like Therefore, and then connect with APIs or however you do that. So for our company, we are saying now that it's not really another project or what we are doing. It is the way we operate. We need to think digitally in all aspects in order to have that truck run faster and to serve our customers. That was all for me, and yeah, this is my email. Please feel free to send me an email later on if there's anything I can answer if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Björn. Very inspiring, by the way. And I have a good idea now, because I know Cordis and Griffith quite well from my previous work at Canon. And maybe we can arrange a meeting with them together. Also inspire them. But of course, I also want to say thank you to Pierre, because both have been very great presentations. And needless to say that we are very proud to accompany you as reliable partner on your digital journey, and of course for achieving results. Okay, but needless to say as well that we need to and we want to go further. So what are we doing to improve and deliver more? So now it's time for the technology part. So I'm very happy to announce Stefan and Wolfgang, who will show us what we can expect from Therefore in the new version. If you have any questions during the technology demo, please post them in the chat and we will answer them after the demo. So Stefan, Wolfgang, it's your stage.
Yeah, hello and welcome to our technology session. It's a big pleasure to have you all in this conference. And my name is Stefan Barth. I'm CTO here at Therefore. And in this session, we now want to give you a lot of information about our product, what we have done over the last months to further enhance it. And we also want to talk about our technology vision, our long-term plans where we are going to with the product. But now let's start with the new features which we have in Therefore 2021. We are currently finalizing this new product version, and so you can expect a release quite soon. And I would like to ask Wolfgang to give us a demo and show us these new features in action.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Wolfgang Gock. I'm Vice President Product here at Therefore, and yeah, I have the honor to show you what's coming, what's new in the next release of Therefore. So I'm sharing my screen with you now. I hope you all can see it. First of all, I want to share a quick slide to show you what the demo is going to be about, so that you have a little bit of an upfront information, what features I'm going to show and what the flow of the demo is going to be. Basically, the idea of the demo is a semi-automatic accounts payable process. And we're assuming that the company that we are kind of run through it expects to get invoices sent by email. So the first step of the demo is going to be that we are sending some invoices to an email address where our content connector is pretty much watching and picking up these emails and putting them automatically in the background into Therefore. As soon as the new invoice arrives in Therefore, it's immediately forwarded to our new smart capture process. Most of you, or at least the ones that have joined the Fusion last year, have seen smart capture as a preview, as a proof of concept implementation at the last Fusion. I think now we're very proud to show you the final product and how smart capture works fully integrated into Therefore. Smart capture is integrated into all of our clients, which means that you can run it from the Therefore Navigator client, but you can also run it from the Therefore Classic web client and even from the Therefore Dynamic Web View. All of these clients support the smart capture processing. Smart capture basically is an AI process for invoice data extraction, which means there is no upfront learning. The invoices are fed into the process, and artificial intelligence, AI, is trying to read data, correctly extract the important bits from the document and automatically populating the data to Therefore back. In the end, what we want to see is the user verification process. So in this step, the user is reading and seeing the proposed metadata. He can correct if it's required or confirm. And if he corrects something, then the system is automatically learning from it and will do better next time. So that's an integrated learning process. The results are then saved back to Therefore, and the invoice is transferred into a vendor case. So I've prepared a vendor case where we see all the collected vendor documentation. So we're going to see the invoice in there, but we also see orders and other documentation. But that's not going to be the end of the process. So every new invoice that arrives, and we are assuming our customer is using Business Central as an ERP system. So every new invoice that arrives in the case is also automatically registered to Business Central in the background, which means there's no manual duplicated enter of data or so. So Therefore it's going to sending all the data we read from the invoice automatically to Business Central and will register the invoice there directly. And for this, it's using our new Business Central connector for Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. We're using a cloud version in the demo. Then we're going to post it in Business Central and finalize the process. And the last part of the demo will focus on the Therefore Dynamic Web View, where we also show you the case management bit, which was just integrated and newly added now. So having said this, I hope the flow of the demo is understood and clear. And let's now start with the first part, that we create and send some invoices to Therefore. Some of the invoices we're going to see several times in the demo is, for example, an invoice like this, which is a construction invoice from a company in Australia. but we are also going to see, like in this case, an invoice, a German invoice. So the language doesn't really matter here. So there are several invoices we're going to use and see throughout the demo several times. But let's now start it off. I have prepared some drafts in my email system, so I'm going to just send them across. I'm going to add the invoice here, and we're going to send it. Second one. So, and the last one. Okay, so the invoices are now picked up by Content Connect and automatically put into Smart Capture. If we now go to our Smart Capture process, because this process typically takes 3 or 4 minutes until the invoice is ready, I have sent some documents up front. So we have some invoices ready to be reviewed now. And the first step for a user is typically going to the Smart Capture process inbox, checking the ready invoices and taking the first one to process. So I'm opening this up now in Navigator. And here you see the view that the user gets when he's supposed to validate the invoice. So what are the different bits and pieces you see on screen? On the left, you see a list of data that was automatically extracted by the system. You also see that some of them have already green or at least gray check marks, which gives an indication about how confident the system is that this is the correct data. So you see he's very confident about the invoice type. He's also very confident about the invoice number. He's also pretty confident about the other stuff. He's missing a due date for the invoice because that's just because there is no due date on the invoice, so we cannot even correct that bit here. And he has a little doubt about the vendor name. So if you click any of the lines here, the system is putting us directly where this is read from, the data he read, and we can just correct or confirm the data. So we can do this actually for each bit of the invoice. So we can see, okay, the invoice number was taken from here, and it's correct. The other number is taken from here, which is also fine. The issue date is taken from here. You see that it's transferring the date correctly to the different format that we're expecting here. As we said already, due date is missing. We got the total amount of the invoice, which was picked up from here. We got without tax and the tax value. We got the currency detected correctly. Vendor name we checked already, and we got the VAT number of the customer. And last but not least, we can also check the line items. So you can choose if you want to detect invoices with or without line items. In the demo for sure, we're taking the line items, and you see here below what the system was reading here. So we got the code, we got the text and description from the item, we got a quantity, we got a unit price, and a total amount. So that was actually pretty good and all was read correctly. If you're done with checking the invoice, you can press confirm, which will in the end inform the therefore workflow that the invoice is processed, the data is gonna download it from the Smart Capture, and the document is transferred to the correct case and saved with all the data. If you have multiple invoices in your queue, the system is immediately taking the next one, so you don't have to get back to Navigate and manually open another one. It's just directly opening the next in the list. Again, you see now immediately was jumping to due date because obviously this is the one value he was unsure about, so you don't have to click it to get to the data to be validated. The system puts you immediately to the right spot. But checking it, it seems to be all right, and we can press OK and we can approve. You also don't have to run through all the lines if you're happy with the recognition results, and maybe we just, to be sure, check the line items, but they also look good. You can only press confirm, and by that, send the invoice into the next step of the process. So we got, I think, 2 more to process. Also, this one looks pretty good. Also, the vendor name is right. And let's check the line items, which are okay. One thing to notice also is that you not only have a confirm button, but you also have a delete down here, which means if you get an invoice in which is obviously wrong, or it's not even an invoice maybe because it was incorrectly saved or sent, you always also have the option to press the delete button, and then the workflow will be stopped and the invoice will be deleted from therefore, and also the Smart Capture process is ended by that. But let's confirm this one because it's good. And we have one more. And that's actually one where not everything worked that perfectly. And so that invoice is to show you how you can train the system and how you can correct different bits and pieces. First of all, the order number is actually okay. We can take that. But we see, for example, that he was missing the total without tax value. He didn't find it on the invoice. So to train the system, basically all the user needs to do is to get to the place where the data is in, and he can collect it from here. You click it once, it's reading it, just confirm it. And by this little correction, the system should learn the next time that that's where the total without tax value is be taken from. So basically all the user needs to do is click once on the invoice, and by that train the system. But that's not all. On this invoice, there's even a problem on the line items. So let's just quickly go there and check what's down here. So first of all, obviously this first line that we see here on the page number 1 is not really a line item. So the first thing we need to do is we need to delete this entry here. So we can go here to the system, press the delete button, which is going to delete the line item from the list. And secondly, also here we see that the quantity value is taken from an incorrect spot. Also, unit price is not really correct. So it's obviously something is wrong on the list here. So we take, you have here the button to edit the grid, which means you can edit now the line items. And what we need to do basically is here, obviously there was no separator detected. So by clicking the plus button, we can add a new separator on that line here. And here on the icons above the columns, we can set what data we're going to read from here. So in this case, I press it and say, okay, that's the quantity column. Here, I'm going to click it and say that's the unit price column. And here, I tell the system that's the total amount column. And if I've done all my corrections, I can press the apply button down here. The system is then trying to read the data once more. So I forgot to remove that line from the list here. Edit grid, and so now it's correct. So it's reading the data again, and you see now this time it did it actually absolutely correct. So now he was reading the quantity right, he was reading the unit price right, and the total amount. And also this is actually quite easy and very intuitive for a user. And by each of these corrections, the system is learned and trained, and as mentioned before, it's gonna do better in the future. Confirming it, and now we have finished all of our invoices. These 3 that are now here ready to be processed are the ones that we were sending previously by email. In the meantime, they were finished and they're ready to be processed. So that's about Smart Capture and how Smart Capture works and does the invoice recognition. Let's now check the results. So let's go to our repository and the vendors. So let's search for example, our DDS Melbourne company. And if you open up the case here, you see that we have some like arbitrary documents which are associated to this to this vendor. But we also have the invoices, where the topmost is the one we just did. We have also some orders and some quotes here in case management. But now let's quickly take a look at the final results of the invoice we just processed. So I'm open up the invoice once more. Here in the viewer, I'm popping up the index data here, and that's pretty much what is the end result of the Smart Capture process. So, you know, you see the vendor number that we have in the system for that customer and the customer name. We have the invoice number. We have the dates, the amounts. We have the vendor invoice number, so that's the invoice number coming from the customer. We have the associated order number, and we have all the line items which are from the document. Correct, recognized, the prices are fine. So that's what actually ends up as data in therefore. And as a note down here, we have also posted checkbox, which is basically at the complete end of the process. So when we have posted it in Business Central, this will be checked. But for now it's unchecked, which basically means we received the invoice, we have registered the invoice in Business Central, but we have not posted it yet. And to prevent that somebody needs to enter all this data again in Business Central to be able to process the invoice from the financial perspective, therefore was in the meantime, while I was talking, sending the data directly to Business Central in the cloud. So to show you this, I'm going to switch the clients now, and I'm going to go into my browser. I'm going to switch to Business Central. So that's now a Business Central sandbox in the cloud that we have created for the demo. And if we go into the purchase invoices area of Business Central, you see we got exactly the 4 invoices we have been prepared and processed previously in Therefore using the Smart Capture. We have them again here in the purchase invoices. These are registered invoices, they're not posted yet. So this is still a place where somebody can open it up. Again, you see you got the vendor name, you got the contact, you got again the vendor invoice number here, and you got actually the same 4 line items that were read from Therefore, perfectly transferred into Business Central automatically. As I said, no double data entry, no problems, no faults when you transfer the data, it's all done automatically. And on the right, you see an area drag and drop documents where you have a quick link to show the invoice once more. So if you click that link now, it again opens up a browser window and puts you directly to the document that is saved in Therefore. So that's the one we just have been seeing in the Navigator a minute ago. And for sure, you have all the options to also access the metadata from here again, as previously. So that's how easy it is for somebody to open up. So I just have the window in front of me here. Yeah, in addition, it's also actually very easy if you need to add additional information or you have an supporting document somewhere in your system, you can also very easily add this here. So let me just go to my sample documents and let's take a legal document like a service contract. So if you would now like to attach a service contract to the whole process, all you need to do from Business Central is actually drag and drop it onto the drop zone, and it's immediately saved to Therefore and associated with the same case in the background. So that's actually also a very, very easy process and very straightforward for a user, I would say. So in here, for sure, somebody can check, and if there are problems or some errors or some corrections to be done, for sure they can still be done. But in the end, we need to post the invoice. So we press posting here. Yes, you want to post it, which is now creating the final invoice inside Navision. You will notice that the invoice number now changes because in Navision you typically get a temporary invoice number first, and when you post it, it's getting a final one. So now we are in the posted purchase invoice. So that's now, this cannot be changed anymore. This is not a final invoice. And again, on the right side, you see we still have the links to all of our supporting documents and the invoice in Therefore. And again, also from here, you have the option to click it and show the invoice in the Therefore system. And what you also might notice now is that we updated for sure the invoice number with the final one. So we were also sending data back from Navision to Therefore, updating the invoice number. And we also updated the posted flag now. So that is obvious also in Therefore that this invoice is a posted invoice. And that's finalized. Yeah, so that's pretty much about the whole flow of the document in our little demo. So the flow from getting in by email, getting read and getting recognized using our Smart Capture service, being put into the right spot inside the Therefore system, and also being registered in the background directly in the ERP, in this case Business Central, for final processing for finishing. The last bit of the demo, I want to focus now on the new web client, on the Therefore Dynamic Web View, and especially case management, which was also just enhanced and added finally for this release, Therefore 2021. So I'm going into my repository view. I'm going here into my vendors case area, and I'm now putting my vendors list on screen. And as previously in the Therefore Navigator, I'm selecting the DS Melbourne customer here, and you see the view is pretty similar than you got it previously. So we got our different sections of the case on the left side. So we got the documents, we got the list of invoices we have in the system, the orders and the quotes. We got some document context related menus here, like open document or deleted document. We are just now adding also the workflow related bits, like starting a workflow or a task here. And here on the right, you see the actions related to the whole case. For example, we could add new documents to the case. We can edit the case header. So if you need to change some case header information, you can click it here and change parts of the case header if required. And for sure, you also have the option to start case workflows and start ad hoc tasks related to this case. And as I said, opening up a document is for sure very easy. Let's, for this example, now go to the service contract and open it. The same for sure does also work for when you double click. Then you get to the documents view and can show the document as you're used to with all the supported actions. And if you go back, you're put back to the case and see all your list once more. Another feature which you have here is that you can navigate through different cases quite quickly using the previous and next buttons here. So if you want to open another case from the list, you can go down to the next case. You see that we're now on a different case for a different customer. So the data is updating dynamically whenever we move. And for sure also the other direction. So if you go for previous cases, you see that we can very easily and very quickly switch between different cases and get different data here for the different customers. Some things in general that have been added or changed for a new web client is that the panels now on the left and on the right are collapsible. So you can now collapse or expand the panels, and you can even also resize them, make them bigger and smaller, which is remembered. So when you do it once and set it up as you wish, it's going to keep it like that. Pretty similar on the right side. So if you hide the panel, it's collapsed, and the neat bit here is that you still are available you have still available all your commands here. So if you want to access any of the commands, you can press it and it's still easily available for you. So if you have not much space on screen or have a small client or a high resolution, it's quite neat to collapse the right panel and don't have the full command with the text, but only with the icons, which are equally good working. For sure, the case manager supports all features of for cases like workflow processing, ad hoc tasks, and all these bits and pieces. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it in terms of the prepared demo. So actually, I'm handing now back to Kono, and I'm pretty sure, I guess there have been some questions around the demo. So maybe we can cover those now.
Yes, definitely. Lots of questions, lots of really great questions. So some of them have been answered already in the chat. So Jennifer and I have been monitoring the chat, but it's a lot of questions. Obviously, with 400 some people on the call, you're going to get a lot of questions. So I apologize in advance if we don't get to your question. It's not that we want to avoid it. It's just that there's a lot of questions. All right, so let's go ahead and start. So Stefan, I may ask you to take this one as a question about which backend capture technology does Smart Capture use?
Yeah, we have done some very thorough investigation because there are quite some products available which you can use to do such kind of invoice data capture. And we decided then for one technology where we think this fits best to Therefore, and which is reliable and gives us the best use case for Therefore. And we white labeled it into Therefore. And yeah, I think you can see it's now doing a great job.
Okay. Next question. This is one that's asked very often. Is there a plan to allow Smart Capture to auto-save invoices without user confirmation based on a score or on the compulsory OCR items? A lot of people ask this question in different ways. So just asking if there's a way to skip the manual verification, basically.
Yeah, this is one of the improvements we have in mind for future releases of Smart Capture. I mean, I think Smart Capture is really giving a very great value to our customers as it is right now, but we also see several points where this can be improved. And yeah, skipping manual verification is definitely one point. On the opposite, I have to say, some other customers would like to make this manual verification even more powerful and add more things to this part. For example, selecting a person who should do the approval for the invoice. So they absolutely want to have this step and have more data to be set in this step. So I think different customers are going into different directions, But if you specifically ask for skipping this step, this is of course an option. So Wolfgang has shown this. The engine already has green ticks if it seems that this is really confident, the recognition has high confidence that it's correct, then we can skip this step in future. Not a feature as of today.
All right. Next question. Is it possible to check if the document is an invoice or not? So I suppose if a document that's not an invoice gets thrown into Smart Capture.
Well, what will happen then? The engine will not be able to find the total amount and things like that. So it will look pretty obvious in the manual verification that something is wrong here. And then it's still a manual decision to say, this is not an invoice and it's not poor recognition. That's really not an invoice, and use the delete button as shown by Wolfgang to get rid of it.
Right. Okay, great. Next question, another interesting one, is can the training data be deleted manually, perhaps all of them or per creditor?
Not as of today. And honestly, I would not really understand why you would like to do this, because this is just, it's storing per layout of invoices you have done, the corrections. I don't see a good reason why this should be removed.
All right. Next question. Does Smart Capture create a separate sheet with the EDI data on it? I don't believe it does.
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. A lot of questions. They keep coming in. Okay. Let's take a few more, maybe for the next 4 minutes or so, because then we do have to move on to the next session. So it's just, I'm just going by the order they came in, not discriminating. All right. All right, that one we've answered. Hold on one second. Is the training of line items in Smart Capture stored into a database for further invoices of the same type?
The training which you have seen in this demo, this only works for the header and footer items, not for the line items. So the engine we have in use here, that's one of the major improvements they are working on to also enable it for the line items. And this is, of course, stored backend and to improve recognition rates in future. Yeah.
Okay. Wolfgang, I saw that you want to answer that question about SAP.
Yeah, to be honest, I was misclicking it, but anyways, I think it's interesting. Yes, I mean, we were showing Business Central here as a connector for that whole process, but we have an equally good connector for SAP, so you could also implement the same process actually with SAP. Yeah. So maybe it's even good to mention it for, yeah.
Great.
And maybe also mention that you showed it with Business Central, which is the new name of Dynamics Navision, NAV.
Correct, yeah.
And this, of course, supports Navision Online, as you mentioned, but it also supports the on-premise version, of course. This was also a question somewhere.
Okay, yes. I mean, to be precise about that, I mean, the Business Central connector is the update of the previous Navision connector. So actually this whole process and integration supports Navision starting from actually even Navision 5 about 15 years ago. So you can use that really with pretty much every Navision version which exists.
Right. There was another question that's more sales related. Charlene, can I ask you to maybe help us with that one?
Yes, of course.
All right, so we had a sales related question. You're our sales guru. So the question was, what are the competitive edges that differentiate Therefore from other market players, and which areas are recognized by Gartner and the like?
Okay, well, I don't want to argue with our peers on the market. We'll have our strengths.
We're not here to hate on anyone.
Yeah, we'll get on well. We all have our strengths. Therefore, strengths are mainly around integration with our SDK for on-premise customers, the web services, the REST API. All the great integration we have with Office is something that we see regularly on the market. There is a great integration with the heavy client. As you have seen from Wolfgang, also the integration we have with our connectors. So therefore and also with the CGI success story, I mean, Pierre has talked greatly about the integration he has set up at CGI. So this is one topic. The great feature set also of our workflow. You can do a lot in the workflow, even with very light IT competence. You can already make great workflows, but if you do have IT competence or even developer competence, then you can really have a lot of fun with the therefore workflows. That's also regular feedback we have from our customers. The list is very long, so I'll keep it short, but the e-forms also that we have launched in 2019, the bonus about this is like the cherry on the cake is that it's not a charged module. So for all of our therefore customers, the e-form can be used for internal users or external users free of charge, let's say, as long as they have therefore, obviously. And it's really fantastic. You can do signature, geolocalization, everything. It's really an amazing feature. And I will end with the user friendliness of our new web client that Wolfgang has just shown. So that's the 4 I would list on top, but obviously, if you know therefore, the list is very long. So
Great, thanks, Charlene. Very thorough answer. All right, so let's do a few more questions. All right. So one question was maybe directed more towards you, Stefan. I suppose this is something that you'll address later, so maybe you can tell the audience that we'll talk about this later. Someone asked, is there any chance of a Power Platform integration, for example, with the Therefore connector?
Yeah, this will be touched in the next presentation.
Great, okay. Let's see, hold on one second. This is an interesting question. What if there are other documents attached to the invoice? Can they be separated?
Today there is no automatic separation, but I mean the engine is, of course, expecting that maybe there are some attachments to an invoice. So it's the process is mainly focused on finding the information in the paper. So it would try to get the amount and who sent the invoice and all this stuff. And additional documents, well, it will not find any information on this additional pages. So for the whole recognition process, it's not a huge problem. Apart from that, and I think this was also somewhere a question, how is this licensing working? A price is computed by number of pages which you feed in. And if you have lots of such invoices where you have all the invoice data on page 1, 2, 3, and then you have lengthy attachments which are not relevant for the invoice, you're paying the whole bunch of paper, yeah? So it makes sense to either separate them or you use a feature in the software to cut off the recognition process at some point after 5 pages, for example. So again, I don't think it's a big problem for the customers, that the recognition will work fine. Also, there is no explicit separation feature which separates things. I hope this answers the question somehow.
Okay, so we're going to do one more because we are otherwise going to run out of time. So I'm just going to choose the one that was in chronological order. So the question is, how does the system allow for additional information stored at a line item level? For example, invoices which have purchase order numbers or goods receipt note at a line level.
And I understand this question that you're asking for information which is on the invoice and you want to recognize them.
At the line item level.
Yeah, because if this is really for the recognition, I think we are not that flexible as of today to get all this information. I also heard this request as I want to associate additional information with every single line item, which should be entered manually. This would be possible pretty much today, because this is a slightly more complex configuration in the end.
All right. Okay, we do have a few more questions, but it's 10:20, so we need to go ahead and move on. So we have all the questions saved, so the ones that we don't answer, we will compile a sheet with the answers to the questions, and you can look out for that in our feedback to you. In that case, Stefan, feel free to move on to the next part.
Yeah, okay, then the last part of our Digital Fusion event is our Therefore Technology vision, and it's a pleasure for me to give you some more insight into our longer term vision and where we want to go with our product in the future. So in our vision, we have two main focus areas. One, these are the people who are working day by day with Therefore. And we want to help them to be able to do their job as efficiently as possible, as easy as possible, with a nice user interface.
Stefan,
and
your screen?
Yeah. Sorry, you don't see my presentation.
Nope, not yet. Try again, maybe?
We can fix this, I think.
Okay.
So now you can see it? Still not sharing?
No. Okay, it's coming up now. Yep, perfect.
Okay. So I was starting talking about the people. So one of our main focus areas for our strategy is making things easy for the people using the system day by day. And the other focus area is around the business. And here we want to deliver a reliable and scalable platform for our customers, that they can run their business based on Therefore and integrate it into the other software they are using. When we take a slightly closer look at this strategy and vision, then on the left side you see the user focus. And when we talk about user, we are talking about user experience, we are talking about building intelligence into the product. This is all focused to make life easy for our end users. On the right side, we are talking about the business, the agility, how to make it very easy for customers to get started, to do the things quickly, to configure everything quickly and easily, and also embed it into other applications they are using. So we are talking about automation and building the whole solution. Let's start with the experience. With user experience, what is our goal? What is our vision? We want to be known to be a product with a simple user interface which customers can start using. It's intuitive, so you don't need lengthy trainings to get started with the product. And on top of this, it should also be adaptive. So it should be customizable for the exact needs a customer has, and maybe even groups of people have when using Therefore. To get a little bit more concrete, how do we plan to reach these goals? So one key development here is, of course, our new web client user interface. We call it the Therefore Dynamic Web View. This was really a project started to have a significant improvement in the user experience for our end users. And a first version has been shipped already with Therefore 2020. You have seen lots of functionality has been added over the last year, but still this is not a full functional web client. So we don't have feature parity with the old web client. So this is also a development which will continue over the next years to add more functionality to it, to make it more customizable for specific needs, and even further improve it. And once we have this dynamic web view at full functionality, this doesn't end this story of improving the user experience. We plan then to continue with adding administrative features to the web client, which is especially important in the modern world. Everything is online, the whole service is online, therefore online, and people are less and less happy with installing an administrative client. So we want to have standard functionality also included in the web client. Another big area is, of course, the Therefore portal. Catch up with the new style of the user interface, of the user experience, but also add functionality to make this a really powerful tool to get in contact with the customers. And then, of course, Therefore Go will be enhanced, the MIP application. So there's lots of improvement to modernize different parts in our user interface. Second part when talking about our users, the people, is the intelligence. And I mentioned already we want to build in artificial intelligence into our software to again make things easier for the end users. The current example is, of course, the Therefore Smart Capture. You have just seen the demo, how easy it is to input all the data from an invoice into our system. But again, the same story. We have something which is a great benefit, but we don't want to stop here. We want to further improve it. In the questions we were talking about skipping the manual verification, we were talking about, I think you didn't take this question, Kone, but I think I've seen also questions how to match it against the data you already have in the system. You have already the order in the system, and you want to match it here against the recognitions you find from Smart Capture. So there's a lot of improvement to further improve this offering. You also see here that in the what section, enable quick deployment. This is also especially true with Smart Capture, because this is artificial intelligence and you can simply start using it. So the demo which you have seen from Wolfgang was really just installing Therefore, taking some sample invoices and throwing them in. There was no configuration process or training process taking hundreds of invoices to get the system working. And so this feature is really also targeted at the small and medium business where people want to get started really quickly and have astonishing good results without big projects to get everything configured right. Okay, apart from Smart Capture, I also have things in mind here that we use analytics to guess what the end user is doing as a next step. Help him in doing his everyday business. We can also use artificial intelligence, maybe some assists in searching, like you know it from Google, or maybe prioritization of workflow tasks. This is less concrete and don't expect this to happen in the next 1 or 2 years, but this is the vision where we want to go, add more and more intelligence to the software to simplify the work for our customers. Now let's move over to the business area. The first strategic area I want to touch here is the agility. And the big goal is here, have everything very quick and easy for our customers. Headline, Therefore Online, buy and use. You go to a web page, you buy Therefore Online subscription, and you select the solution which you want to use. Let's say you want to have it for HR. You just click it, you get your tenant provisioned within minutes, and you can start using it and getting the benefits out of it. And once you have bought it, the second key area here with agility is it's easy to operate the system, it's easy to make changes to the configuration, and the management of the system should be simple and easy. To get more concrete, I already elaborated a little bit what I mean by buy and use. So the goal here is simply to minimize the time from purchase to getting the benefits. And I think this was a process you could see evolving over the previous years. We had in many regions, we had initiatives in the direction that we have packaged solutions, pre-configured configurations, things like that, which helped customers to get on speed quicker. And the final vision, of course, here is, as mentioned before, you buy online and you start using it. And it's also great that I can mention this here now, that this year we have the first Canon country starting this process, where therefore is online in packaged solutions is really offered via the internet, and customers can buy directly online and simplify and speed up the whole time from purchase to use. So it's starting, but my vision is that this is working even faster, so that you can start it using it within minutes, and that this is of course a worldwide offering. So there's a lot of work to be done in that direction. Yeah, and around operations management, I think we get from time to time feedback from you in the field where you find it a bit difficult to operate the system. So this feedback is very much appreciated and will be built in here to the product to make life easier from the business point of view. Yeah, and then as a last topic, we have automation. As mentioned also by Michael already in the keynote, we want to support the real-time business with our platform, and a key element here obviously is integration into other applications. And as the world is moving to the cloud, and also in the therefore world is moving to therefore online, the online world is key here for building integration. You have seen improvements in this direction already, and I think one key tool how products are integrated today is of course REST calls and web services. So we have a lot of integration options in this area already, but we will continue this route. For example, here getting index data via REST calls, you could imagine something like what we have today as reference tables, that this could be based on REST calls to get information from other tools like an ERP system or whatever. Yeah, but then also building integration to other applications. We have listed here Microsoft Office. Of course, we have an Office connector for many years already, but this is for the installed Office. So here we are talking about the web-based Microsoft Office. Microsoft Teams is a great candidate to build a specific implementation for this, and also the Power Automate integration, as it was asked already in the Q&A. These are really hot candidates to build specific integration. I guess you have also seen our development over the last years with e-signature, where we have built in a standardized interface to easily ramp on new e-signature providers. So we have now a list of, I think, 9 providers which are supported natively in Therefore. This is also one of the concepts which as a vision would be for me to spread this out over more topics within Therefore, that we can more easily integrate with other applications. But of course, this goes in many directions, and we are also happy from time to time we have a partner who wants to integrate Therefore with his product, and this is of course very much appreciated and supported by us. So to recap everything, we spoke about these 4 areas, the strategic areas where we want to enhance therefore, user experience and building in intelligence to our product to help our users, the people using therefore day by day, make the work life easier for them. And on the other side, we were talking about agility and automation to enhance therefore and have a great platform for your business. Yeah, thank you for your attention. And again, the question, are there any questions?
Yes. So actually, one of the questions, Stefan, was asked by Mark Eost. And actually this makes me want to, I'm going to make an announcement now. For those of you on the call who are from the UK and Ireland, we're happy to announce that as of today, we have a new business development manager responsible for the UK and Ireland. That is our new colleague, Mark Eost. Mark brings a ton of experience. A lot of you know him, of course, brings a ton of experience to therefore, and we certainly look forward to working with him and to working with all of you as well, with our channel partners and customers in the UK and Ireland. So this is an official welcome to Mark. Totally out of the blue. I know, Mark, you weren't expecting that, but in any case, welcome to the team. Mark asked about actually plans for additional integrations, but Stefan, I believe you covered that well. So thank you for that. Another question for you. This one you didn't cover, but let's see if you have an answer, Stefan. We had a question. When will the UI from the new web client be available on the desktop client?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah,
I think a lot of people want to know that.
Yeah, I think currently we have to focus on the new web client to greatly enhance the web look and feel. For the installed client, I think this is a Windows client and it's built in the Windows style, so I think it serves quite well the requirements. And if customers prefer the web interface, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong to use the browser even if you're working on your desktop machine. So I think our customers, they all have the free choice to decide for one or the other. I'm really happy to get the feedback, what everybody thinks about the new UI concept, the new user experience. And then we are open to take decisions where to go with the classic installed web client, the installed client.
Great.
So there's no final decision taken right now.
Great. Okay. Maybe time for one more question because we're nearing the end and we still have a few things to do. A question, are there going to be any improvements regarding X-Rechnung or Zugpferd? Is that in the plans?
There is nothing planned from our side. I think we added support to generate these kind of invoices.
Yeah.
So I think it would be great to simply learn about what is the requirement here, how we could better serve such use cases for our customers.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, but maybe we can also quickly mention this.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever ideas you have, what you think we should improve, we have our ideas portal. I hope everybody is aware of it. Otherwise, Kona, I don't know whether you can put it somewhere in the chat and everybody can see it.
Yes, I
Link,
can.
but
yeah.
This is of course also our platform where we would absolutely like to get your feedback, and where it's also great if you can comment on ideas of others to enforce them or just let us know that this is really priority in many projects around the world. So this helps us also prioritizing what is relevant for you.
Yes. So Stefan, I just put the link in the chat to everyone. And actually, I'm going to take over the screen sharing real quick and just show you what that looks like. So if you look here on the screen, you'll see this is our ideas portal, and you can vote for features. And you see we have so many new features. You can add a new idea. You can sort by recent trending popular. So certainly it's worth it to take a look at that. Go ahead and register and add your ideas, vote. The more feedback we have, the better we can listen to you, and the better we can make informed decisions. So great, Stefan, thank you so much for that. Before we let you go, we just want to take a few minutes now. We started with the opening poll. We want to look at a quick exit poll now, just to get your quick feedback about today's sessions. So if you stick around with us for a few minutes longer, we have two very brief questions for you. Jennifer, I will share the poll questions. So can we do the same thing as before, where you'll go through them with our audience?
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to launch the poll now.
All right, so we've got a closing poll on the screen. The first question we have is, which session type was the most interesting for you? So you can let us know if you like the tech demo, the customer presentations, the other speakers, or just all of it. Then finally, what area did you learn the most about? How Therefore is used, upcoming Therefore features, the future of Therefore, or all of the above. So please, if you can, submit your answers, and then we'll go over the responses together.
All right, great. Let's give everyone some time to vote. I can see the numbers are coming in fast, so people are still voting. We're already at 60%. Awesome.
All right, guys, are
Nice.
you voting still? Or?
Oh yeah, still come. They're still coming in fast. We're at 260 people have already voted, but they're still coming in. Let's take maybe 10 more seconds.
All right, 10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
1. All right, and
All right.
Bruno, what are the results? I can't wait.
All right, here we go.
All right, so which session type was the most interesting for you? So 50% of the responses said the Therefore Tech demo, so that's the clear winner here. 16% was customer presentations, 3% other speakers and sessions, and 32% all of it. So looks like all in all, the entire conference was quite interesting. And which area did you learn the most about? 11% is how Therefore is used, 37% upcoming Therefore features, so that seems to have been the winner in that case. 23% said the future of Therefore, and 29% said all of the above. So overall, lots of good responses. Thank you guys so much.
Great. So thank you everyone for participating in our poll. At this point, I would like to ask all members of the Therefore team to turn on their cameras. Great. Hi, everyone. All right. So I'm glad everyone's still here. We didn't lose anyone. So Charlene, I want to start off with you. What did you think about today's event? What was your key takeaway from today?
I think it was good. It's not me to say, but I hope it was very interesting for all the attendees. So again, thank you everyone for being so numerous today. Personally, I think it's very interesting always to see the different features that are coming up and the innovation that we can bring. As you have all seen on the Ideas portal, we have a lot of input from everywhere in the world on our Ideas portal and from the comments that we get from the fields. So it's always very difficult to make a choice between all the different features that we're being asked. But it's very exciting to see what's coming up. So thanks to the R&D team.
Okay, I will follow. So from my opinion, all was good, excellent. But I like also the case studies of Pierre and Björn very much. And what is really good to see, they started with a particular process or let's say department where they use Therefore for, but they have plans to use it further. So I see the features of e-forms, there was e-signatures. So this is really great to see that the customers are on a let's say digital journey, and they grow with us. So once we offer new features, they hopefully will use them soon. So that's a great story.
Cool. Then I'll go next. I just wanted to say I really appreciate that we had such an international audience today, especially nowadays. We can't travel so much, so I feel like every time I get on a call and see so many faces from around the world, I get to travel a little bit and hear about how people around the world are using Therefore. So thank you so much.
Great. Michael?
For me, it's difficult to say what was the most impressive because everything has been great. Listening to the technology vision means we know where we are going. Then again, learning from the customer presentations tells us exactly why we are doing this. And as we have learned in both customer stories, it's all about effectiveness and efficiency. So this is about business. So I think our strategy is right. We are the platform for real-time business. And thank you so much to all the customers on the call to give us the opportunity to work with you and for you. This is our contribution that makes us motivated every day.
Great. Well, of course, we need to thank our audience as well. So nearly 400 of you joining today. That's fantastic. That's the largest fusion we've ever had. We're really excited. We're really proud to be partners with you in this, and we're really happy that you could join us today. So for the questions that are still pending, we will address them by email. So please keep an eye out in your inbox for a follow-up from us. Other than that, it was a long session, but I hope you enjoyed it. Our goal is to make you successful, and we hope that with today's session and with our continued work together that we can achieve that. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world, and take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.